Hey everyone, welcome back to another video by Simplilearn. In this video, we will be discussing Cognizant interview question for experienced. So we'll go through different types of interview questions that are often asked during the interview process at Cognizant. So in this video, we will be learning about Cognizant, then we'll understand Cognizant recruitment process and different interview rounds. After that, we'll understand Cognizant technical interview questions for experienced. Then we'll understand the objective interview questions and HR interview questions for freshers and experienced. After that, we'll understand how to prepare for Cognizant HR interview and then Cognizant careers. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update from Simplilearn. So Cognizant helps business streamline process, reimagine customer experiences, and modernize technologies to keep up with the constant changes in business environments. Its technology offers the tools and flexibility necessary for each person to develop their best self. Whether changing the companies that the world relies on or helping you build your best self. In addition to information technology, security, consulting, IT, and BPO, Cognizant also offers services in education and government. Cognizant has three key areas of focus: digital business, digital operations, and digital systems and technology. So this was about Cognizant. Now let's understand Cognizant recruitment process. So Cognizant believes in employing people that are driven to succeed and go above and beyond to contribute significantly with their digital expertise. Their hiring method takes into account the fact that students have varying levels of IT experience. They are offered jobs depending on the skills and interest in technology. The process for freshers happens in two ways, that is, on-campus recruitment, off-campus recruitment. The recruitment of experienced candidates take place through job portals like Naukri, Monster Jobs, LinkedIn, Indeed, employer referrals, etc. So this was the recruitment process. Now let's understand different interview rounds at Cognizant. Interview rounds are divided into first aptitude test, then technical interview, then HR interview. So first understand the aptitude test. So if you are a fresher, you must take the aptitude test first. Candidates can take the test on an online platform. Usually, freshers apply for the Gen Z position in Cognizant. The Gen Z interview questions are divided into the following, that is, quantitative ability, then logical reasoning, and English comprehension. While the experienced candidates have to take skill-based assessments. This test is based on previous experience and technologies. Now let's understand the technical interview round. So, technical round is standard for freshers and experienced candidates. It is one of the crucial and difficult rounds in the entire process. The questions can vary from data structures, databases, system design, UI, AI, ML, etc. Now, moving on to HR interview questions. HR interview round, there is not that much to prepare. HR will usually check your attitude and organizational fitment. So that is what you need to prepare for that round. Now let's have a look at Cognizant technical interview questions for experience. So our first question is, what is a linked list? So a linked list is similar to an array. It is a collection of elements in a linear fashion. The order of the elements is determined by the pointer, and this pointer points to the next element in the collection. So this is what linked list is. Now moving on to the next question, which is, can you reverse a linked list? Explain. So yes, we can reverse a linked list. Please follow this solution. Now as we can see, first of all, initialize 3 pointers, previous as null, current as head, and next as null. Now iterate through the linked list. So in a loop, do the following, like before changing next of current, store next node. Like next equals current, arrow operator, next. Now change next of current. Now this is where the actual reversing happens. Now current, arrow operator, next equals to previous. Now this is where the actual reversing take place. Move the previous and current one step forward. So here what we are doing is we are moving the previous one step forward. So we are storing the current value to the previous and the next value to the current. So this is how we can reverse a linked list. Now, moving on to the next question, which is what is queue? Provide a real life example. So it is one of the most important data structure. The queue follows the first in first out method. It means that the element that is inserted first gets removed first. The elements are inserted near the bottom and the deletion is done at the top end. A queue for cinema tickets is a fine example of queue. Now let's move ahead. So our next question is, what is a doubly linked list? It is an advanced version of a simple linked list. One can traverse forward and backwards using a doubly linked list. Unlike a simply linked list, it stores the previous pointer as well. Now, moving to the next question. What is the difference between push function and pop function? So push function is used to insert the elements in the stack, while pop function is used to remove the elements from the stack. The top is used to keep a track of elements at the top of the stack. So this is the main difference between push and pop function. Now, moving on to the next question, explain graph. So a graph is a non-linear data structure where elements are connected by links. These elements are termed as vertices and the links are called edges. And the length of the links doesn't matter in graphs. Now, moving on to the next question, which is, what is the difference between stack and array? So stack, based on the LIFO principle, that is last in first out, the sequential process of accessing data means that the last data is entered after the first has been erased. Whereas in an array, there is no particular order and each element can be accessed by inspecting its index. Now, coming to the next question, which is, what is a stack? So stack is a linear data structure. It is similar to queue but follows the last in first out principle. The elements that are inserted last are removed first. Stack has two methods, that is pop function and push function. An example of stack would be a bucket of clothes resembles as stack. Now let's move on to the next question. Explain the concept of a binary tree. So a binary tree is a non-linear data structure. Every node in the tree has a left and right pointers along with the data. The topmost node is known as the root node. The nodes that have subnodes is called parent node and nodes that do not have any subnodes are known as leaf node. So binary trees are used in binary search tree implementation. They are useful in storing records without taking up much space. So this was the concept of binary tree. Now let's move on to the next question, which is, write a program to implement search in binary tree. So you can have a look at this example first. So in this example, we are searching node using the condition if the root to be searched is less than or greater than or equal to the key value. So in first condition, we are checking if root is null or key root is present at the root. Then we are checking if root is less than key root value. If it is, then we are calling the search function again and passing the parameter as root.write, that is right node. Else we are checking if root is greater than key root. If yes, then we are calling the search function and passing the parameter as root.left, that is the left node root. So this is how you can search or implement search in a binary search tree. Now moving on to the next question, explain dynamic programming. So dynamic programming is a technique widely used in competitive programming where overlapping methods are used. The main problem is divided into smaller problems so that the result generated from solving them can be reused again. So this is what dynamic programming is. Alright. Now the next question is, explain traveling salesman. What is it used for? So the traveling salesman problem is an algorithmic problem tasked with finding the shortest route between a set of points and location that must be visited. In the problem statements, the points are the cities a salesperson might visit. The salesperson goal is to keep both the travel cost and the distance traveled as low as possible. Focused on the optimization, the traveling salesman's problem is often used in computer science to find the most efficient route for data to travel between various nodes. Applications include identifying network or hardware optimization methods. So this was the traveling salesman problem. Now moving on to the next question, which is explain the concept of merge sort. Merge sort falls under divide and conquer algorithm. The problem is broken down into smaller problems of the same type until they are solvable. The solution to the sub-problem is then combined to provide the solution for the initial problem. The time complexity of merge sort is O n into log n. Alright, now moving on to the next question. Can you implement bubble sort algorithm? Alright, so let's have a look at it first. So the bubble sort algorithm is one of the classic sorting algorithms. The idea is to swap the adjacent elements if they are in wrong order. So bubble sort doesn't work well with large data sets. So in this example, we start from the first index and compare first and second elements. If the first element is greater than second, then we swap both of them. For swapping, we are using the temp variable, that is the temporary variable. Same goes for the second and third element, and this goes on until the last element. So this is how we can do this. Now moving on to the next question, which is explain the preemptive multitasking. The preemptive multitasking process allows computer programs to pool operating systems and hardware resources. It uses established criteria to switch resources between processes and distributes operating and computing time among processes. Preemptive multitasking is also known as time-shared multitasking. Now, our next question is, what are the steps involved in Oracle database startup? So the steps involved in Oracle database startup is no mount, mount and open. You can also read about this in detail. Now, our next question is, can you explain RAC? So RAC stands for Real Application Cluster. Oracle introduced is to provide high availability and clustering for the databases. More than 2 nodes of the database form a cluster and provide 24/7 database availability even if some nodes in the cluster go down. So this is RAC, that is Real Application Cluster. Now coming to the next question, what is split brain syndrome? So a split brain syndrome happens when the database node starts behaving like an independent database. This can cause corruption and data loss. To prevent split brain syndrome, a voting disk is used. Alright, now our next question is, what is depth first search algorithm for binary tree? So an algorithm called DFS or depth first search is used to search all the nodes in a graph or tree. The concept of traversing is to see all the nodes at once. Alright, now our next question is, swap two numbers without using the third variable. So it is a coding question or programming question. You can have a look at this first. So in this example, we are just swapping two integers without using any temporary variable. So we are taking two variables x and y. So say 3 and 5, x as 3 and y as 5. Then we are taking sum of x and y and storing it in x, making x equals 8. Then we are subtracting y from x and storing it in y. That makes y equals to 3. Next, we are again subtracting y from x and storing it in x, making x equals to 5. Now x becomes 5 and y becomes 3. So this is how we can swap two numbers without using a third variable. All right. Now our next question is, what is index and how does it work? So index is used to optimize and improve the performance of the database. It is a data structure used to access and quickly locate the data in the database. Just like the index in the book, database index works in the similar way. Right? Coming to the next question, find the length of string without using the string functions. So this is again a coding question. So in this example, we are taking a character array as input. Then we are checking if the value inside a character array is null or not by using the null operator. Then we are validating the same in while loop, and if it validates to be true, then we are increasing the count of length by 1. So this is how this question can be done. All right. Next question is, explain the fill factor. So the fill factor represents how much space on each leaf level page will be devoted to a data. So SQL Server's smallest unit is the page, which is composed of 8K pages. The number of rows per page depends on the size of the rows. The default value for fill factor is 100, which is the same as the value 0. When the fill factor is set to 100 or 0, SQL Server will fill the leaf level pages of an index with as many rows as possible. There will be no or very little blank space on the page when the fill factor is 100. Right? Now, explain what is views and what operations can be performed on views. So views are virtual tables that contains data from combination of two or more tables. Views are important when the data is stored in different tables and you want to have a single table. You can create, update and delete a view. And these are the operations that can be performed on views. So these are the operations that can be performed on views. Now let's move on to the next topic. Now let's understand Cognizant objective interview questions. So our first question is, a 300-meter long train running at the speed of 150 km per hour crosses the second train running in the opposite direction with the speed of 120 km per hour in 9 seconds. What is the length of the second train? Option A is 370 meter, option B is 400 meter, option C is 375 meter, and option D is 372 meter. You can take some time to solve this question. You can also pause this video in order to figure out the correct option. Meanwhile, we will discuss the correct option. So, the correct option is C, 375 meters. So, the train is running in the opposite direction. Then the total speed would be 150 plus 120, which is equal to 270 km per hour. And if we will convert it into meter per second, then it becomes 75 meter per second. Now let the length of another train be L meter. Now 300 plus L, that is the length of the other train, divided by 9 equals to 75 meter. So this becomes distance upon time equals to speed, that is 300 plus L divided by 9 equals to 75. Now 75 is the speed, that is 75 meter per second. Now by solving this equation, L, that is the length, comes out to be 375 meter. Alright, now moving on to the next question, which is, assume AX equals to BY, then option A, log A by log B equals to X by Y. Option B is log A by B equals to X by Y. Option C is log A divided by log B equals to Y by X. Option D is log B divided by A equals to XY. Now you can again pause this video to figure out the correct option. Meanwhile, we can go ahead with the right option. So the correct option is C, that is log A divided by log B equals to y by x. Now moving on to the next question, which is sum of two numbers is 80 and their product is 320. Then what is the sum of their reciprocals? It is a very basic question. Option A is 1, option B is 2, option C is 1 by 4, and option D is 1 by 2. Now you can take your time by pausing this video. Meanwhile, the correct option is option D, 1 by 4. So given A plus B equals to 80, that is the sum of two numbers equals to 80, and A into B, that is product of two numbers, is 320. Then sum of their reciprocals, as we know the formula, that the sum of their reciprocals is equal to A plus B divided by A into B. That is equal to A plus B, that is the sum, divided by the product, which comes out to be 80 divided by 320, that comes out to be 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 is the correct option, that is an option D. Alright guys, now moving on to the next question. So our next question is, how many seconds will a 300-meter long train moving with a speed of 83 km per hour take to cross a man walking at a speed of 3 km per hour in the direction of the train? So our option A is 13.5 seconds, option B is 14 seconds, option C is 13 seconds, or option D 14.5 seconds. So you can pause this video again and try to solve this question on your own. Meanwhile, I'll speak the right option now. So the correct option is A, 13.5 seconds. So the train and man are moving in the same direction. So the relative speed will be 83 minus 3, which is equal to 80 km per hour. Now we know that we have to convert it into meter per seconds. So we'll convert 80 km per hour into meter per second by multiplying it with 5 by 18, which comes out to be 200 by 9 meter per second. And we know that time equals to distance upon speed. So our distance is 300 and our speed is 200 by 9. So we will divide 300 by 200 by 9 and our answer would be 13.5 seconds. So yes, the correct option is 13.5 seconds. That is option A. Now, moving on to the next question. So a set sum of money amounts to rupees 3000 in 2 years and rupees 3400 in 4 years. Find the sum and the rate of interest. So our option A is INR 2000 and 13%. Here 2000 is the sum and rate of interest is 13%. Option B is 2600 and 7.7%. Option C is 1500 and 12.5%, and option D is 1600 and 12%. Now I'm going to tell the correct option. So the correct option is option B, that is 2600 and 7.7%. So the interest paid in 2 years would be 3400 minus 3000, which is 400 for 2 years. Now, so for 1 year, we will divide 400 by 2. So it comes out to be 200. Then for 2 years, it would be 400. For 1 year, it would be 200. Then the principal sum at the beginning is 3000 minus 400. That is 400 for 2 years. So we'll subtract 3000 minus 400, which comes out to be 2600. So 2600 is the principal sum at the beginning. Now if we apply the formula of rate of simple interest, that is 200 divided by 2600, that is the sum at the beginning, into 100, then it comes out to be 7.7%. So the correct option is option B, 2600 and 7.7%. Now moving on to the next question. What is the antonym of vindictive? So you can select from these options. Option A, careless. Option B, forgiving. Option C, revengeful. Option D, refined. So the correct option is option B, that is forgiving. Now moving on to the next question. What is the antonym of peculiar? Option A is normal. Option B is exception. Option C is unique, and option D is specific. Now again, I'm going to speak the correct option. So the correct option is option A, normal. Now again, next question. What is the antonym of prejudice? Option A, bias. Option B, injustice. Option C, impartial. Option D, judge. The correct option of this question is option C, impartial. So these are some antonyms that you can prepare, or some more antonyms or synonyms that you can prepare on your own. Now, moving on to the next question. Odometer is to mileage, then compass is to, you have to select from distance, B, direction, C, speed, or option D, gravity. Now, the correct option is option B, direction. Odometer is to mileage, then compass is to direction. All right. Now again, we will move to the similar question like that. Now, marathon is to race, then hibernation is to option A, sleep, option B, awake, option C, dream, or option D, animal. Now the correct option is option A, that is sleep. Marathon is to race, then hibernation is to sleep. They are pretty easy questions. Next question is window is to pane, then book is to option A, page, option B, cover, option C, author, option D, ink. Correct option here is option A, page. Now the next question. Cup is to coffee, then bowl is to A, water, B, noodles, C, bread, or D, soup. Correct option here is D, soup. Now cup is to coffee, then bowl is to soup. It was pretty easy. Now moving on to the next question. Vikas plants 6 separate saplings A, B, C, D, E, F in rows number 1 to 6. According to the following conditions, he must plant A before B and E. He must plant B and D. The third has to be C. Which sitting arrangement is acceptable? Now these type of questions doesn't really need any explanation. So here are the options. Option A, F, C, B, E, D. This is the arrangement. Option B, A, B, D, E, C, F arrangement. Option C, D, B, A, C, F, E arrangement. Or option D, C, E, F, B, A, D arrangement. So you have to select the correct option among these. And now I'm going to tell you the correct option, which is option A. That is A, F, C, B, E, D. So this is the correct option. Now we can move to the next question, which is when Rahul saw Aditya, he recalled, he is the son of the father of my daughter. Who is Rahul? Option A, brother. Option B, cousin. Option C, father-in-law. Or option D, brother-in-law. Take your time by pausing this video. Now I'm going to tell the correct option. So the correct option is option D, that is brother-in-law. Next question is which of the following is synonym of catechize? Option A, query. Option B, silence. Option C, walk away. Or option D, sing. The correct option of this question would be option A, query. Now, moving on to the next question. So, which of the following is synonym of loath? Option A, love. Option B, play. Option C, hate. Or option D, dance. So, the correct option is option C, that is hate. Now, the next question would be which of the following is synonym of recede? Option A, attack. Option B, retreat. Option C, dodge. Or option D, complain. Now, the correct option of this question is option B, retreat. Alright, now moving on to the next question. So, which of the following is the synonym of spurious? Option A, real, option B, genuine, option C, fake, or option D, excellent. So, the correct option of this question would be option C, fake. Now, again, a similar type of question. Which of the following is synonym of pudgy? Option A, chubby, option B, skinny, option C, ugly, or option D, beautiful. And the correct option of this question would be option A, chubby. Alright, now the next question would be, if Vijay can be written as XKLCA, then what can RCTKU be written as? So you need to solve this question with pen and paper, then only you can figure out the correct option. So the options are A, Paris, B, Param, C, Pairs, D, plans. Now I'm going to tell you the correct option. So the correct option would be option A, that is Paris. Now the next question would be, after walking 11 kilometers towards south, a man turns right. He walks 2 kilometers to the left and 7 kilometers to the right. After that, he walks 3 kilometers straight back. Where is his starting point now? So again, you have to do this question with pen and paper. So option A is southwest, option B is south, option C is northwest, option D north. And correct option of this question would be option D, that is north. Now, coming to the next question, consider some digits between 10 and 1000 such that when each number is divided by 6, 7 and 11, it leaves 5 as the remainder in each case. What are the original numbers? Option A, 535, option B, 400, option C, 462, or option D, 135. So the correct option of this question would be option C, that is 462. Now moving on to the next question. In the 800-meter race, A gives B a start of 5 seconds and beats him by 25 seconds. In another race, A beats B by 15 seconds. The speeds are in the ratio. So the ratios are option A, 10:11, option B, 9:8, option C, 8:9, or option D, 8:8. So this one is pretty easy question, and now I'm going to tell the correct option. So the correct option would be option B, that is 9:8. Now moving on to the next question. If 1 raised to power 3 plus 2 raised to power 3 plus 3 raised to power 3 up to so on 10 raised to power 3 equals to 4050, then find the value of 2 raised to power 3 plus 4 raised to power 3 plus 6 raised to power 3 up to so on 20 raised to power 3. So here are our options like A, 10,000, B, 32,400, option C, 42,350, or option D, 32,000. Now I'm going to speak the correct option. So the correct option is 32,400. So we have given that 1 raised to power 3 plus 2 raised to power 3 plus 3 raised to power 3 up to so on 10 raised to power 3 equals to 4050. So we have given the value of these. Now we have to find the value of 2 raised to power 3 plus 4 raised to power 3 up to so on 20 raised to power 3. So first of all, we'll take the common. So we'll take 2 raised to power 3 common out of these. So it would be like 2 raised to power 3. In the bracket, there would be 1 raised to power 3 plus 2 raised to power 2, 3 plus 3 raised to power 3 up to so on 103, 10 raised to power 3. Alright. So we know that 2 raised to power 3 is equal to 8. Now, and the rest of it we have the value like 4050. So we will simply multiply 4050 into 8. Then it comes out to be 32,400. You can try this question on your own. It is pretty easy. All right. Now moving on to the next question, that what will be the most significant number which divides 37, 59, 74, leaving the remainder 2, 3 and 4 respectively? Option A would be 7, option B would be 9, option C 10 and option D 5. Now I'm going to tell the correct option. So the right option would be option A 7. So these were some Cognizant objective interview questions. Now coming to the HR questions for freshers. So those that make it through the technical round will advance to the final round, which is the Cognizant HR interview. Candidates will have to face interaction with Cognizant's HR manager in this stage. During the HR stage, candidates may also be interviewed by a panel in which there are more than one interviewer. So participants will be asked things about their personal history, academic qualifications, interests, strengths, weaknesses, professional experience, and so on. Finally, if candidates are chosen in this round, they will now be recruited for the job description for which they have applied. All right, now let's move on to the questions part. So the first question, which is also very common, would be, tell us a bit about yourself. So this topic is typically asked to initiate a conversation and to gain a basic understanding of the candidate. Candidates typically begin with their current academic qualifications, technologies learned, family history, projects completed in the final academic semesters, internship programs completed, and in what role the internships are, etc. Now, to answer confidently, to make the best impression on the interview, the manner in which you conclude your answer can set the tone for the next few questions. Now, let's move on to the next question. So, how do you increase your knowledge? So, this is an important question. So, you need to prepare for this question. So, you can answer like, learning does not come to an end ever. Like, the interviewer will want to know if you are a critical thinker who challenges yourself to grow. You can respond to this question by saying that you are aware of current IT trends and that your knowledge will not only help you advance in your career, but will also be beneficial to the company's growth. All right. So, this is how you can address this question. Now, moving on to the next question. So, what are your qualifications? So, you must serve an example how you differ from the other candidates. Tell them about your abilities that will help you to make a beneficial influence at work. Operating in a new environment is not really a problem for you, and you can say a lot of similar things like that. Check that you match the job description and explain how you believe you could be a good fit based on your strengths. All right, so this is how you can answer this question. Now we can move to the next question, which is, assuming you are employed, how long do you anticipate working for us? All right, so no employer wants an interviewee who will leave the company after only a few years. So they anticipate that the candidates will be a good fit for the company for like 7 to 8 years. And even if you are unsure, you must tell them that as long as the job you do challenges and leads to a profitable company, it will help you grow. So in this way, you can answer these types of questions. Now, the next question, why do you believe you are qualified for this position? So now remember why you applied for this specific role when answering this question. Tell the interviewer about your qualifications and how they make you eligible for this position. In addition, emphasize how you can add value to their current workforce. All right. Now tell us about some of your strengths. This is again a very common and important questions. So again, it's critical to research the job requirements before attending the interview. Make a list of your areas of strength and say the ones which this role requires. All right. Now, the next question would be, tell us a little about your weaknesses. All right. So, do not give a weak point that will directly impact your selection, but also do not claim that you don't even have a weakness. So the best way to respond this question is to flip one of your strengths into a shortcoming, but you believe it is important to function in this way. Another option for answering this question is to provide a totally unrelated weakness that will not affect your work in the company. All right. Now moving on to the next question, that would be, what do you like to do in your spare time aside from studying? All right. So candidates must respond to this question by discussing their hobbies or extracurricular activities. Like, just don't say that outright that you enjoy reading books, watching television, and playing sports. Since the interviewer will ask you what genre you love to read and why, as well as the technicalities of the sport. So ensure you answer this question honestly and only if you have such a knack for doing so in your spare time. So these were some Cognizant HR interview questions. Now let's understand how to prepare for these HR interview questions. All right. So to prepare for these HR interview questions, you must participate regularly before actually taking the test. Make sure you have a good comprehension of the topic and enough practice. Reading good literature or registering for a suitable online course can help you clear your doubts. Now, the second point would be, make sure you review your coding test papers and practice programming principles like C, C++, and Java, as well as other computer essentials like OOPS concept and databases and networking. And the third point would be, ensure all the information on your CV concerning your prior projects and internships is correct and that you understand everything. You will be questioned on your past projects and work experience, as well as what technology you used and what you have achieved. So our fourth point would be, ensure that you are updated on the technological developments. You should be familiar with the recent technology advancements, etc. So you must be updated with the latest trends in technology as well. So these were some tips to prepare for the Cognizant HR interview questions. Now let's have a look at Cognizant careers. So the Cognizant recruitment takes place for freshers and experienced candidates. So CTS runs recruitment for the following positions. So first would be Gen C, then Gen C Elevate, then Gen C Pro, and Gen C Next. So these were some following positions that CTR runs recruitment for. All right, Cognizant recruitment is quite rigorous. Like, it is one of the Fortune 500 companies and a great place to work. Cognizant is an excellent place to start your career if you're a fresher. Even for experienced candidates, Cognizant is good paymaster and has a terrific projects that can elevate your career. And following are the CT's recruitment eligibility criteria, like more than 60% marks in 10th and 12th or diploma, a minimum of 60% marks in graduation, a maximum interval of 1 year is permitted, and graduation and post-graduation in BE, that is Bachelor of Engineering, BTech, ME, MTech, and MCA. A candidate should not have any pending backlogs during the recruitment. So these were some eligibility criteria that you need to take care of. And with that, we have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope it really helped you all. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.